the minutes for December 22nd. While you're reading, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Elizabeth Gomez,
Present?
Jean Bowerman,
Here.
Pat Langdon,
Here.
Tricia Bratton,
Here.
and Rhonda Quinteros.
Absent.
Okay.
City
Derek
manager.
Martin,
There we go.
city manager. Pamela Taylor is the clerk.
City manager Derek Martin here.
Okay.
Check the mics, there we go. City manager
Check,
Derek
check.
Martin here. Thank you.
Any correction with the minutes?
Chris's name is spelled wrong.
My name is spelled wrong.
Wow.
It's Elaine.
Darn computer.
Yeah, there's no D in Pat's name.
If you could state your name and the issue.
Patricia Langen, spelled wrong, Langhan.
Thank you.
And Chris Edler's last name is Edler, Edler.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the minutes for December 22nd, 2025 with corrections.
I motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Trish. I have a motion. I need a second.
My second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have the minutes to approve from last, that was what you said.
Yeah.
I'm lost. Just trying to find them.
Okay, old business, Arbor Day. I think it went amazing. Just don't get used to it. The weather was beautiful. Talking about Arbor Day, Derek, we still have signs,
Mhm.
and I wanted to pick them up, but I don't want whatever happened to the banner to happen to the signs, different people working on it, you know? That they'll disappear, so I left them alone.
I picked the signs up yesterday. The snipe signs, the small
The garden ones,
tree.
yeah, I just seen a bunch of them
Okay. We picked the ones up that were in Viva line. If there are other ones,
In the medians.
in the medians.
okay, I'll have them picked up. No worries.
That way we keep everything together in one spot and we won't lose anything. Anything else, any reflections, any notes about Arbor Day?
I think it went real well, like you said.
It was a perfect day. We had
Yes.
well over 100 to 150 people throughout the day. A lot of people were learning how to plant plants and what the benefits were. The vendors that were here were really informative. Chris Elder was exceptionally helpful in being able to get the word out, and the city really appreciates that. Such a good turnout, helping with everything from the flyers to the informational packet. So just want to officially put that out there. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, he also said it's not his first rodeo. Apparently in Kansas City, he did a lot of events where he plants, so there you go. You can use it for all that planting. Okay, comprehensive tree plan follow up.
the commission had approved the plan with some changes that, we needed to just, it was really just some lowercase c's versus some uppercase c's, so, everything was in there as stated, there were no changes that were made or requests that were done that were made.
Okay, confirm inclusion of DBH in circumference measurement standards.
That was also included, with the inches as well, so we included both size measurements as discussed with it as the group. So that was taken care of.
An update of the trees planted on Lake Stella.
So, update on the tree grant itself. I spoke with Mr. Todd Little yesterday. Mr. Todd Little had sent me an email with Jesse Frazier attached to that. He's also with FDAX. Jesse Frazier is the county forester that will be taking care of our planting check. I have sent out an email to him in regard to setting up a meeting to go over and look at our trees that have been planted so he can give us the next steps, thumbs up. I also have received the final project closeout grant reference guide for recipients, and I'm working on putting that information together. It's everything from photos of the trees that were put in the ground to very detailed, I guess you could say, Excel spreadsheets with information regarding cost, equipment used, personnel, fringe benefits, all the things that we have in regard to our match to the grant. So I'm working on putting that together. Another item that we have to do is we have to have a thank you letter to the legislature. We also have to perform or have an article in the newspaper talking about the grant and the trees that were planted and where they were planted. So I'm working on actively putting all of that together. We did get a thumbs up from FDAX on our planning deadlines. So we met our deadline and now we're in the next phase for reimbursement. So we are perfectly fine. Up to date, we have for the 35 trees over the period of time from November till now, have utilized around 10 to 13,000 gallons of water.
Wow. And that water we get from the city.
Yes, and that is our contribution,
Yeah,
and that goes into the cost of our matching,
yeah.
the $5,000 for the grant,
We got a little, we
Yeah.
got a little rain, but
a little bit.
I wanted to tell you that, when we had the first blast of, coldness a couple of weeks ago, you know that we had those power winds. I saw one of the trees planted right across from my yard. It was like almost making to the ground. So I went over there, and because I was in the army and we had to put up tents, you know, I got some skinny little ropes and I tied it up and then, but Chris said that it was not good to have rope.
Not at this
Yeah.
stage, not.
But I didn't know what to do because
It's
the
okay.
tree, yeah, he said that eventually, because we're gonna get the bad weather, you know, for the summer, we're gonna have to make sure that the trees are supported, you know, with something so they don't blow away or whatever,
I
the
agree.
babies.
I agree, and staff has been tasked to make sure that they ride by those trees on their normal activities daily, just to check on them. We had some kids that messed around with some of the trees that were in parks, and we had to fix those. It's gonna take some time, but we'll take care of it, we just need to keep our eye on it.
Especially the ones in Harry Banks, we had problems before with those over there.
Yes, and if they just give them some time, they're gonna have fresh fruit, cause
Yeah.
that's the one that we put the plums in.
Oh.
So, those Chickasaws are there, and
Mhm.
if that community allows time for those trees to mature, they're gonna be very happy with what they're gonna get.
Do you think it's a good idea that maybe you, not us, I don't know if us, we can do it, but to visit one of the African American clubs and maybe instill in them how important it is for them to take responsibility for these trees? That's their communities, you know, how can they educate their people?
Sure, I don't have an issue with this group at
Yeah.
all, individually, of course, making any type of, effort to reach out and discuss
Yeah.
I think that's great, community, working with community. It can come from management all day long, but the community needs more, talking for community. So if you have contacts, please reach out to them.
I don't have contacts, but I know Veronica Glover takes care of the concerned citizens.
Okay.
And I know Commissioner Moore involved with the churches and the
Sure.
Black community. Maybe we can make her, maybe
Sure.
she can take that one for us,
Sure.
Because coming from maybe somebody from their community, they might listen. Also, the African American Women's Club, it will be a good place if maybe one of us, even me, could go over there and talk to them about it. If they will accept me at one of their meetings,
Sure.
to make it, but I don't know who's in charge of those groups.
Okay, we can work together on that.
Okay.
Absolutely. We'll do
Because
something.
I think it's very important that we get them, involved. And like I said 100 times, and I'll say it again, and I'm not ashamed of it. Again, on Saturday, the African American community was not involved. You saw a lot of Hispanics, you saw a lot of white people, but the African American, once again, were not involved. So, we need to get them on board, that is important.
I have an idea and discussed it with some of you all privately, I believe, at the event of doing, and Chris and I have talked about this, Mr. Christopher Elder, a community, public, basically grab and go or pick, garden. So you can, essentially grow fruits and vegetables and go pick them in season and have the community coalesce around that and work together to create something really nice. We have an area there at Harry Banks Park beyond the fence, between the lake and the fence. And it's something that I have to bring with Chris to the commission for some permission.
Yeah.
And we also believe that we have some other entities that might be willing to pitch in.
The
And
Rotary Club
Correct.
with their butterfly garden.
the butterfly garden, and so we can get some of these groups to pitch in, not much, because we'll start everything from seed. The irrigation, I think, would be the most cost, and we can figure that out.
And maybe bring an event over there, to
Right.
Harry Banks.
Right.
Have like a fair.
I think it would be great for the community, bring the community together and serve that area of town really well.
Sounds good, thank you. Okay. So, the stabilization of the trees, that's on stabilization and monitoring, that's part of what you guys also gonna be doing.
We're actively doing it now.
Cause I heard from Chris that the trees are gonna be settling, with
Yes.
time, and you need to let that process, so we'll know where the tree's gonna be,
Yes.
and then we can fix them.
As they're watering, Chairwoman, as they're watering, they're going to look at that and add pressure if needed, or soil or other materials to make sure that the tree's balanced in the right way as it's going through the process of settling in and rooting. So it's something that they're actively working on. We have Matt doing that on a daily, checking those trees, and he's been putting a lot of effort into making sure that they're staying good and alive. I will remind this board that if the tree dies for any purpose, any reason through the
We'll have a
season,
funeral.
well, we've been given an assurance from the company that we purchased them from, Flowing Well, that they will replace them free of charge.
Very cool. And
And
what are these here?
these trees are sweet gum? Sweet gum.
Mm-hmm.
I have sweet gum, I don't know about those over there. But, sweet gum, we have a couple, it looks like we have 5 or 6. 8 trees over there, so.
Okay.
From Arbor Day, left over.
For one of the parks,
They were left from Arbor Day.
Yeah, we can figure out where to put these at, for sure.
I think, like we said, Harry Banks is a very important, big part that might need lots of trees,
Shade would be great in there.
shade for them, and they have the room for these big trees to
Yeah.
make it beautiful for them, so we can also enjoy, another park in town.
Absolutely.
So the watering schedule, did we skip over that? I know you're on it, but I just want.
Wiring schedule, and like I said
He said
before,
he spent 30
I
gallons.
know, but that's not over, they just got planted.
yeah, we have probably around, I think, 10 to 13,000 gallons so far
Right.
between those trees.
And they're keeping the bags full.
And they're
right?
keeping the bags full.
Okay.
That's being checked on every day or every other day. One thing that I talked to, my public works director, he had some concern that we may actually be overwatering, so we're watching, and checking, but we're really high and dry.
Oh, yeah,
And
we're.
we're
drought
sandy,
period.
we're sandy soil, it flows pretty well through
Windy.
here.
Yeah,
Need as much water as possible. So I've told them to just continue watering, monitor, and keep them moist as they're growing, so.
and soon when the leaves come out, we'll know if they're dry, because they're gonna wilt,
Yes,
so
we will know.
we will know, except the hollies. they
And hopefully
aren't.
the leaves come out. If they don't come out and we're in
Then we're in
May, we
trouble.
know there's
Yes.
a problem.
Yeah.
And not to change the subject, but the one of us that were at this, Thursday at the Women's Club historical lecture that, the gentleman gave, he was in awe that we have such a beautiful little city. And he said, whatever we doing, continue doing, and protecting parks and all of this stuff. So it's very, very important that we continue reminding ourselves that we are a tree city. And we need to protect the areas that we have.
And speaking of that, I know we've talked with the commission on raising, or at least there, in the language that you all used. We had the emergency portion that we talked about, in the language for that, for trimming the trees and things of that nature. In my discussions with Mr. Todd Little, it's been brought to my attention that there's a disaster recovery grant that actually opens up now until March 10th of 2026. Now, that grant features available funding for assisting in tree planting projects, community tree maintenance, which was important to me, and developing community tree inventories and urban forest management plans. With that being said, I know it's been this board's wish and as well as some commissioners' wish to make sure that we have the proper personnel involved with cutting. If I can get this grant, which I have forwarded over to our grant writers to go after it, if I can get it, then I will be putting together a master plan for trimming and raising the entire city's tree canopy properly with the proper people. If we can't get a tree arborist with us cutting, maybe we can get a company that has somebody that is certified already. So it's a contract and we're getting it taken care of. So we're actively working on it. I just wanted to bring it up to you because it's something that just happened a few days ago.
And if we cannot get an arborist, at least we can establish a relationship with whatever company we use,
Yes. And in the interim, I have tasked Public Works to categorize the need in the city, but map out the areas of critical need to least need for tree trimming and raising of the canopy, especially not even raising the canopy, but trimming the trees in areas that are concerned for trucks, school trucks, and also our emergency vehicles.
So they haven't started doing that yet then?
They haven't started, but they've been tasked. It's on paper. So they've been tasked, they've been given 30 days to do that.
No, I mean, they haven't started trimming anything.
No. We're not trimming anything.
We know we
What
have to ask for
what I've tasked them to do is to create a map.
Okay,
A map with specific areas of what type of trees and how thick the branches are or whatever, in order for us to create a narrative when we go into a possible contract with somebody when we're creating a scope of work. If I can get something like this, this NOFA, Community Forest Disaster Recovery NOFA, then that'll allow us to, procure the right people. What we have to get information on what we're telling them to do. So I've tasked them to do that in the meantime.
And I promised, Commissioner Moore that I will go to Division Street where her mother lived and check on those trees. I went, I took pictures, and then I got lost. I didn't go to Division first. I went to Sherry Lane. And it's true, there's a lot of beautiful oaks that we have forgotten because they are not in the middle of city. And I don't wanna say that we have forgotten because it's the black neighborhoods, but we don't want that, to people having assumptions that we are forgetting those neighborhoods.
Correct.
But they are beautiful, beautiful oaks that, it is true, a lot of them look damaged, or the limbs are all over the road, and I have pictures, I'll send them to you.
I have them.
You have them?
Yes, ma'am. Just to update you all, this group, so on 1/9 of this month, on the 9th of January, I put out, just so y'all, I don't know if y'all can see that. This is a request that I put together, a work order request for Public Works. We're tracking all the work that's being requested to be done. On the work order request, it has the date of request, who's requested by, and who's assigned to, it has the work location and the description of the work. In this request, I've asked Public Works to go to 818 and 823 Division, and to remove the water oaks hanging over the power lines.
Yes.
They're coming from the right of way, they are water oaks, they are not, they're not the oaks that we want. I also asked them to have FP&L meet them on site to determine if they can remove the limbs over the power line. FP&L should be able to remove the limbs over the power line, we can take care of the rest. There should be a shared cost in that. Those are direct lines, they're not secondary, they're on the main road, so that is FP&L. I have asked my Public Works Director to take care of that. On 818, I also want them to remove the damaged fallen tree in the right of way if it's not on private property. When you go down that road, there is a tree, and it was a heritage oak that has been damaged in a storm, and it's about 15 feet high, and there's nothing. It's just sitting there,
Yeah,
and it looks like it can fall over
Yeah.
at any time. If it's on private property, I was going to have the, Pam, our code enforcement officer, reach out to them, to just find out, if there's anything they can do with it. If in fact, that's something that needs to be handled by them due to the danger aspect of it, the safety aspect. But the stump is about 15 foot tall, there's nothing growing on it, and so, I want it gone.
yeah,
If it's a private matter, we can't remove it, then that's where it's at. But if they even give us permission, I would like permission from the commission with a letter of permission from them, and we can drag it out ourselves. I don't think it needs to go. It's a sore sight and danger, in my opinion. I gave them 7 days to get an answer to me from that. From the 9th, I still haven't got anything. I sent an email today to Public Works to find out what the status update was on that. So I just want to make you all aware.
okay, thank you. And thank you for taking care of, the trees on Magnolia, because I saw, they were working on them.
Okay.
I just had a comment to make about Cherry Lane Street.
Cherry Street?
Yeah, was there some development supposed to be?
Yes.
Something was approved,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so I believe those are, I can't remember if that's CDBG funds or if that's private, but there's a development coming in, and what it is there's an extension of the sewer line that would enhance the utility of the area, not making them do a septic, which we don't want septics, it's close to the lake, it's an environmental issue. Now, they would have to go with a very expensive type septic tank that would cover those types of, concerns, but if they worked with us, they would have a share of cost of that project. We're working on developing what that looks like and how much that is.
So is that
And we
closer
did
to
get
the
bidders
lake?
for that project.
Where is the project in that?
It's in between Vernon or 308 and Grand Ronda on the left-hand side if you're heading
On
towards the
Cherry.
lake. On Cherry, yes.
Okay, but it's not in the front as you first come in,
No, that's
it's farther.
That's a different development, that's private, they were talking about they fenced all that in.
Well, I didn't think that was
Yeah.
gonna be houses.
No, that's not gonna be
Yeah.
houses there, it's
So it is-
further down,
It's further down on the left.
yes.
Okay, because there were large trees, right, basically in the right of way, the street when you're going in there. Very large heritage
Yeah,
trees, probably one that you're talking about.
probably so.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that with the engineer we have, they are always looking out for our trees and making sure that if they don't have to go, they're not going. If they have to go, they get them permitted the right way, and there's mitigation involved with that. With the development, if a tree's gotta go, then it has to go, but they're gonna be responsible for putting trees back that will eventually take its place sometime in the future.
So that's an unpaved road, is that getting paved? Is it
Cherry Street's paved.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
maybe
The
it's
part that the,
narrows.
the part that's getting the subdivision, which again is between Vernon or 308 and Grand Rondo, on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Talking about that, Kinetics, Wing Street, whenever they made this parking lot next to me, part of the deal was that they were gonna plant trees, and they have. But I'm looking and I'm like, some of those trees are pine, and the power lines are right above it. I'm like, did they research this? That these trees were gonna grow and be in the way of the power lines? It is
It
crazy.
gives FPNL a job, so they can trim them, cut them out.
Okay, moving along to Eva Alliance Irrigation, Public Works update on irrigation there.
So I actually found some heads out there.
There are.
There are definitely heads out there buried. The one that I saw had a hole around it about 3 inches, and it was definitely in the bottom of that hole, about 3 inches deep. There has not been any investigation as to what's active and what's not. Staff just has not had time. I have tasked them with a lot of things of importance, not that that is not important,
Yeah.
but if I gave it to them right now, it would be at the bottom of the pile and it would get lost in translation. My goal is to have an overall revamping, if you will, of all of the parks by springtime. That includes any irrigation if we have it, any pressure washing of any buildings and facilities, and any pressure washing of said sidewalks that we own, that's ours in our right of way. This is gonna take place soon. I've already given Keith a task order, for the next 30 days. I want this done. We will be working on it. It's gonna be something that's gonna take a lot of manpower for us to do it, and that's something that we are lacking right now.
Especially that historical little park, Eva Alliance, you know, with the camellias and what we want to do with the park. Eventually, you know, keep holding events like we did Arbor Day and everybody enjoying the surrounding and the camellias and all the trees, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Update on prior water leaks and sidewalk damages.
Where was that at?
That was on, I don't know,
Cedar?
second page.
Is that Cedar?
It just
You
says.
girls remember? I don't
Okay,
remember.
So that's on Cedar.
That's your street.
My street.
Yes, so that is on Cedar. I had some people come in complaining about the sidewalks. This opened up a larger problem, which is how the current municipal code is written. Currently, the sidewalks are the responsibility of the owner.
Yeah.
Okay, the city has a mechanism to which they can even lien on the owner's home if they don't take care of the sidewalk after a certain amount of steps and notifications and all that. That hasn't been done. In the case of this property, I talked with the property owner. This is if you're heading towards the connecting street from the church, which is Orange, I believe. No, not Orange. What is that road?
Florida,
Is it
eucalyptus, yeah.
Eucalyptus, and you're heading north from Eucalyptus on Cedar. The left-hand side, there's a fence that came out, and I also reviewed this with our code enforcement officer, but there's a fence. That fence was taken beyond the point of where that sidewalk is, so if you look at it, sidewalk runs directly into the fence and goes to nowhere.
Yeah.
If you go to the Google Maps, that's how that sidewalk has been before that fence or property was ever developed. It just stopped right there. Come to find out, going to the city or to the county GIS mapping, the sidewalk is actually on the private property side and not in the city right of way. In that case, if someone were to fall or hurt themselves, it would be a private matter. I've talked to the city attorney about this. If it's in the right of way, then that could stem a whole different set of issues, despite what our code says. But I talked to them, they could remove that sidewalk, they could replace that sidewalk,
The owners.
the owner, but that's on them. We wouldn't touch it, and we wouldn't touch it even in the right of way based on what our code says today. I brought it up to the commission. It's something that we're gonna have to visit at a later time. In the case for Cedar Street, though, I felt that it was important to task Public Works, which I already did, to remove the meter boxes that are in the sidewalk because they are on private property. I was told that that's where they're supposed to be, that is where the code says. I said, I don't care. I don't care. At some point, someone has to take responsibility.
And do it.
It's in the sidewalk, it's the city owned, nobody owns that meter except for us. So I told them, move the meter back and put it into the right of way, let them deal with the sidewalk. So that's where we're at right now with that, because the sidewalk is dilapidated in a way,
Okay.
and the meter box is sunken where it has a huge tripping hazard. Right now, they're tasked on getting that fixed, at least in that area, pulling those meter boxes out.
Okay. I'm part of that street and the church and we don't have sidewalks, but I know down farther, there is sidewalk.
Correct. And it must have been put in by the people that own those homes
Mhm.
25, 30, maybe even 40 years ago. You go back as old as we can in the mapping data, which shows us early 2000s, that sidewalk is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
New business,
One second.
okay,
I happen to have a sidewalk. I happen to have 2 Heritage Oak trees and those, what do they call those? The arms that go out have picked it up. Now, when they do the sewer, water lines, they gave me some new sidewalks. I wanna know why the city puts the responsibility on people that own the sidewalks. What about the people on the other side, all the way down, that don't have these sidewalks? I don't think it's fair. And I don't own it, you own it. I don't understand why the difference in segregating the sidewalk people from the other side. Now, they built a new house across the street on the west side of South Prospect, past Lennon, and they have a sidewalk. Well, I guess it's a code to put it in, because there is no sidewalks for the entire length of South Prospect on that side of the street.
And they put new sidewalks in front of their house?
only that house.
It's because that house is new, it's not, I mean, it wasn't new yesterday or the day before, it was 2 years ago, but they're the only ones, and I assume it's there because someone said you have to do it. If you put in a new house, you have to put in a sidewalk.
Who?
I don't know
who
if
made
that's
them do
true
that?
or not.
Yeah,
I just wondered why, there it is, sticking out. I just don't understand why. The responsibility goes to the homeowner, and you own all that land out there. I keep it, but you own it, why don't?
Are you talking about the right of way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes from my property ends with that sidewalk, and then you have what, 8 feet or 10 feet out to the street with the sidewalk, which is a big wide sidewalk. I have to say that people do use it because they're up and down all the time with kids in carriages and little bikes,
Peacocks.
walking the dogs.
So.
They do use it.
I can tell you that the code was codified in the year 2000. It is under section 26-73, construction and repair of sidewalks. Duty of property owner, procedure upon failure of owner to act. And I'll read it to you specifically. It says, it shall be the duty of the city commission to designate certain streets or parts of streets with sidewalks shall be constructed and maintained at the expense of the owner of the real estate, along with which sidewalk shall be constructed and maintained. The owners of the real estate within the city shall construct and always keep in good repair at the owner's expense, good and substantial sidewalks around their lots, which shall always be the width prescribed by the city. Upon an owner's failure to do so, the mayor, commissioner, shall notify said owner of said neglect, and that if not done, corrected by the owner in 30 days, the city shall have the work done by the city at the expense of the owner of the lot, which shall be a lien on the lot and be enforced in the same manner as a mechanic's lien. The notice shall be in writing and specify the kind of sidewalk to be built or the repairs to be made. And that was 26 years ago. I brought it up to the commission. I brought it up to the commission. This was something that we discussed a little while back. it will come back up again. I'm gonna be working with our attorney to try to get them some other language. There's a couple other codes that we need to codify and change, so.
Patty, that answers your question? Okay, new business, the creation of a certified arborist supervision language application. Where we at on that?
As far as an application, we haven't started that. I know that that was in this portion. We can ask for a license, and I think when we do a project, it should be as simple as having, in the package when we get the W-9 or for the 1099, you know, the information from the contractor, their EIN and all that, that we request their certification instead of a document that they have to fill out that goes beyond that. I mean, we really just, if we need somebody who has a certification, we can just provide the certification. So we're gonna simplify that process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discussion of possible state grants, Canopy, and that's the one you talked about earlier?
Yes, ma'am, didn't mean to jump the gun on it.
Okay, so we got that covered. Public comments, Steve, you have anything for us?
Okay.
You'd be delighted to join the board.
You weren't, Madam Chairwoman, Steve Dempsey, 339. Madam Chairwoman, you weren't here earlier when I was describing what happened on Saturday. At 5 minutes to 2, I walked up, asked for one of those, and they said, take them all. This was Julio, and what's the younger guy's name?
Jesse, the new
Jesse.
forester.
Yeah, they basically said, please, we've been hauling these things around, take them all. So I did. And
Yes,
I've been handing them out ever since, and they're all over the place. Actually, there are people that want those. But I'm just letting you know, I was accosted by Commissioner DeVito in Winn-Dixie regarding, did you take all the trees? What was the count? I want the shoe marks. Now, my question is, does she want them for the city? Does she want them for her yard? I mean, something's wrong with this whole, something's wrong.
okay, so listen, Steve, it was a misunderstanding in the part of Jesse, the forester, because apparently he had been told from the beginning, whatever is left, we want it because we want to plant them at the parks. And that was the
He never said
instruction that they gave him, and somebody came by and told, we saw Steve with all the trees in the back of the truck, and he left.
Well, I left and I told him, I live at 330 Pine, these people know me, send, anybody wants anything, send them to my house. And they're-
Yeah. So I think it was all miscommunication from his part because he was the one in charge and he already had been told by Commissioner DeVito that any trees that were left, we wanted them because we would like to plant them on the parks.
That's not what, Commissioner DeVito wanted the Shoemark oaks only, and at Winn-Dixie, she said, I don't care what happened, grind them up if you want. Grind them up, they're nuisance trees, so that, she only wanted the Shoemarks, and she said they're for the city. So, and there were only a few of those, there were only like 5 of those.
And what are those there?
Those are the sweet gum.
The sweet gum.
That's the remaining, I dispersed them around.
So the sweet gum nobody wants.
Generally speaking, I was just talking to Chuck in the lumber yard, he's like, oh, they've got big leaves. Oh my God.
I think that would be a great treat for Harry Banks. If they give shade, we want whatever we can for Harry Banks. Harry Banks is a bear lion.
Well, they're fantastic, like they have a fall look when the leaves change. Now,
But
they
they
do
are
have
very
a,
messy, they have like, these
Seed
tiny,
Pods.
yeah,
Seed
these
pods.
seed pods that are thorny.
again,
So I don't
over-
know if people, like if kids play in that park or whatever, it might not be.
That park has tons and tons of miles of nothingness that kids are not around. I think it would be good just to make a look out there.
Yeah,
By the fence.
I think for shade purposes, we need to put them at the dog park.
The dog park,
On
Good
the inside,
idea.
on the inside of the fence there.
I don't know anything about trees, so if you think it's a good idea, I think it's a good idea. That way Steve won't get in trouble and be escorted by the police to the jail. Over there, and be our first customer at the old jail.
At the old jail?
So I wanna apologize, Steve, because it was a misunderstanding of everything, starting with, the forester.
But I mean, both of them said, and Julio too, take them, please.
Yeah.
So the sweet gum can tolerate moist conditions and can take temporary flooding.
That's,
It would be perfect
So
though.
that
Yeah,
would be perfect
that's
around
perfect.
that retention pond, which
Good,
has
yeah.
recently been mowed.
I mean, you're talking about Harry Banks?
Yeah, at Harry Bank, so it was pretty high before that.
Yeah, we can plant them out there.
we can do half and half. 3 over there and 3 over there.
There's 8 total. you
4
said.
and 4.
Yeah, so we could do, yeah.
4 and 4.
Then Commissioner DeVito has 3 shoe marks in her yard.
And we're gonna talk to her too, don't believe me, we'll be after her
Please do.
too.
Yeah, those don't go for her yard, right? They go for.
She was there, she put out some trees, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Commissioner DeVito.
Okay,
Thank you,
Well,
Steve.
can I say something
Yes.
else? Regarding the sidewalk, it's funny, we have, in the world we live in, it's Democrat, Republican, sidewalk people, and not sidewalk people, you know? What happens, a lot of the sidewalks are smashed by water oaks that the city owned. They have destroyed sidewalks coming apart. So the homeowner is responsible for that.
He's working on it, so.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
not gonna go there, Steve.
He's
The
working on it.
code specifically states what it is. It doesn't get into the gray areas. And I
Okay.
can tell you this right now, it's not being enforced.
Right.
It's not being
Right,
enforced.
right.
The question I have more so than anything is that I wanna spend money and I want to account for it in the budget and budget for these things. And I can't because there's not an avenue for me to continue that. I get well, we're not responsible. Okay, great. Who is? We've had that discussion with our attorney. You can go back to the meetings that I brought it up with the commission and see what they think about it. I brought it up to them. It's kind of at a pause standstill right now, but as I'm working on these out year, 5-year, 10-year, multi-year plans and trying to make the city more uniform, the discussion has to come up and we have to change that code that's very specific. If it's on private property, it's the private owner's responsibility. If it's in the public right of way, that's what you pay taxes for. And this is what we're gonna do to fix it. But we're not gonna be able to do it all at one time. We're gonna have to phase it out and it's gonna take years because we have, even though we're a small city, miles of sidewalk.
Right.
That's where we're at with it.
When you
Yes, sir.
address that situation, can you suggest permeable sidewalks, things that will move with the roots? Because they have some, I think on East Grand Rondo.
Okay,
And they're great when you've got trees. You're not then down the road replacing that sidewalk.
we should
That'd be
look,
great.
we should look, and I think though, to a certain degree, the code tries to have tries to establish uniformity. I think if you have an area that does require some outside the box alternative, then it should be allowed. But that's language that's gonna have to get put in the code, and honestly, I can bring it up to the commission, but I'm only one person. I need the public to come in and state their opinion. The commission has to hear what their constituents want. If it's just me, they're not gonna, I'm just one person, you know? I live on a country road with no
Some
sidewalks,
sidewalks.
okay?
We'll back you up.
But I mean, this is a team effort and everybody is in it together. This commission wants to do the right thing. They want to do what's right by the people, but the people have got to speak. They will not know what they need to really do unless they get told from the public in a respectful manner, of course, what their wishes are. And that's it.
The meetings could be shorter.
No comment.
That's a community issue, I think, is why there's not much
I think it
attendance.
keeps people from coming.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They do watch it
That should be
online,
brought up to them.
whatever, but
I'm trying.
they do it on Zoom. I know.
Well, then you're not commenting. There's
Yeah.
no.
Right.
Right.
I know they're trying to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that each and every one of them truly care about this city. And that's more important than anything else you could ever have. So we're lucky to have that group. Is that all, sir?
One last thing,
Yes, sir.
the sign out front that doesn't work, that planter in the middle,
Yes, sir.
that looks bad.
Yes, sir.
It's twisted, it kind of.
So, just so you're aware, these are, of course, all things that are being worked on. I've actually contacted several companies just this week on the new, DAC sign, the digital sign.
Oh,
When they come in and we figure out what sign and what size and type, we're gonna put together a plan for redoing the greenery in that area and possibly rebuilding it. Maybe going in with something totally different, taking all of that out and having just a screen. We don't need all the pillars and all that was because the bank was here. So we're looking at that. I've got a budget for it. I've got approval for it. Well, I've got a budget for it. I have to bring it again to them and hopefully that'll go in their consent agenda. There's no reason to really go through it again, but we have money and they're aware of it and I'm working on it. And
that's mine.
started mulching the front area, started trying to get that cleaned up. We got more mulch ready to come in, so we'll get it cleaned up.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
So there, you know, my neighbor at 19 Main Street, she said a week ago, she got up and they were cutting a tree back there in our little yard neighborhood. And she was in awe because apparently in Hollywood, Florida, you have to have a permit even to cut a tree in your own yard, that you have to post. So she said in less than 3 hours, they had that huge tree down. She was like in tears. It was a tree that had shade, had birds, blah, 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 blah. And they took it apart, they left, and then they parked their new grand truck. So they just wanted room for a truck. I understand that's their private land, and they can do that. But, like we had, Gene had to go and check on somebody that was gonna cut a tree, and they put a permit, so, how do we do when people are saying, oh, I didn't know? I mean, you didn't know even to cut a tree that big in your property, you need a permit? How can we fix that?
Well, that's gonna be a code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, when it comes to permitting,
It's the same house with the dogs, the barking dogs. So he got a brand new truck.
is the current, and again, forgive me, because I haven't read all of the muni code, is the current code call for the permits at all right now for cutting trees? Because I know that people bring in permits to you all.
So I don't
I
know.
think it's in there,
Yeah, you have
I
to-
know that we have access to the muni code.
Okay,
I've
well,
seen it.
you have access, if you
I
just
don't
go to
know
Google
how
and do Crescent City Muni,
Okay,
Muni code,
but I
but,
think it's a heritage tree they're supposed to get.
so a heritage tree, but I'm saying any tree.
I don't think so, is that
Not
right,
any tree.
Pam? Just a tree that's not a heritage tree, there's not a requirement for a permit.
I don't believe so, no.
I don't think so,
Okay.
because it says in Florida, you
Okay,
don't have to have a permit if it's on your land,
okay,
but the city has the
the right.
requirements that if it's a heritage,
Okay,
then they have to get the approval of the tree and garden board, right?
If it's a diseased tree.
Right.
And you have an arborist that says it's a
Right.
diseased tree, you
Don't
don't
let
need a
Then you
permit.
don't need, yeah,
Otherwise, you do need a permit for that reason.
yeah.
yeah,
If it's
So
a
any tree, correct?
for any tree.
For any tree?
I believe so,
Tree
unless
companies-
it's specified as an invasive tree.
The tree companies don't
So-
know that either,
Right.
they're not licensed to work
So
here.
I know in Atlantic Beach, if you wanted to cut any tree, you
That's
had
what
to
you
get a
said.
permit.
Yeah.
Except for if it was a camphor,
Mhm.
a palm tree, or maybe even pine, but I think pines you needed it as well. But I know palms and camphors, you didn't have to get a permit if it
Considered
was,
invasive?
if it was on your property.
Even an old comfort tree?
Even an old camphor tree, they wanted them out, they were happy to get them out.
Are they considering pine, I mean, a palm tree, an invasive, even though I think disabled,
I don't know if
Should
they
be,
consider it
but-
invasive, but they didn't care if you cut it without a permit.
oh,
You didn't need a permit. Now, the only palms that they were concerned about were these palms that were a specialty palm planted 40 years ago. They were super,
Washingtonians?
super tall. I don't remember, but they have a specific look on one of our main roads there, and they're historic, so
Right, right.
you couldn't touch those. And those were even in the right of way. When we had the people coming in to trim trees, I had to make a map of that for them, so they would leave them alone, don't even touch them.
So that was just her concern.
Yeah, but I think,
Coming from Hollywood, she said everybody, if they were gonna cut a tree, they needed a permit.
I think if this board makes a recommendation that can go in front of the commission to possibly change or add language in the current code that would require a permit for any tree other than a specified invasive. And again, you've already put out language what the invasives are and what the heritages are, so even though camphor is invasive, we may have some that meet the or meet the standard for a larger, tree, that's safe or, kept safe.
And that will be only in the city limits.
Correct.
I understand,
Correct,
because I told her maybe we can put something on the gas bill, the water bill, that even for these people that go, oh, I didn't know, well, there's a penalty for not knowing.
right,
And it's your home, you should check before you cut a tree.
right,
That way they won't do it and have the excuse, oh, I didn't know.
right,
I didn't know I had to have a permit. Well, there's a, I didn't know ticket.
right.
Start at $50, I didn't know, I don't know.
Where did you say we would look to see what it said for permits cutting trees?
It should be under the muni code, and I can do some research too, but you could literally Google Crescent City Muni Code, MUNICOD.
Alright.
And it'll come up, it'll come right up, you just click in there,
No, you can keep it.
Cool.
So yeah, I would like to do that,
Oh, I would like to look at that.
to
before we
look
make
into
a
it and
Yeah.
then make decisions.
Right,
Because this, I don't know, that's what they told her, I don't know, I mean, and she said, Liz, every time that you confront somebody, they're gonna tell you, oh, I didn't know. So I'm like, it should be an I didn't know ticket. Because when we first come to the city, we have to put gas, water, so we have to see these people here. That's where they give you all the rules, it should be a paper with all the rules and that I don't know ticket. If you dare to cut something without a permit,
you're lying.
Yeah. yeah, there will be an I don't know ticket. Cause she said it was like bandits, they had it cut in like an hour and boom, in 4 hours, the whole tree was gone. And then
Just like
became a
those guys
party
out
street.
there.
Mhm.
So that reminds me about that issue with the tree at the light, and there was a fine. Did the fine money, get
Directed to us.
directed somewhere?
no, it wouldn't be directed to the board, it
No,
was.
but anywhere, I mean,
It is in,
tree maintenance
it
or
is in the
something?
general fund,
Mhm.
and so when we get to a mid-year point when we're looking at the actual budget, and we're doing a budget adjustment by ordinance, then at that time, we will ask where they would like to put those funds, and it would be the staff's recommendation to put it in either tree cutting, tree planting, something that has to do with
Mulch.
trees, mulch, whatever it may be needed. So, but yes, we received the check, it's in there, it's not gonna be spent on public works gloves or anything like that.
Anything else, girls? Ladies?
No, I just wanna
Is
say,
today your last day? Oh,
when we're talking about people not knowing,
yeah.
in South Carolina where I lived, it was the real estate agent that said, we're noted for our trees, and you
Mhm.
cannot take any tree, any size, nothing. And if you're gonna build a house, and there's trees there, I swear to God, my mother had a
Yeah.
house with a tree, one of these huge things, and they built a whole board thing all around it. And then as the tree got bigger, they had to cut it away, but
Mhm.
they are adamant about their trees.
Maybe that's
So,
something.
I wanna
It's
go,
the real estate, maybe the real estate people.
And also enforcing it
I
on
mean,
the
I
water
have
bills.
four houses on my street, right there around me. I don't think I'm taking it personal, but
Yeah.
I know they all chop trees.
Mhm.
Did it. I hate it, just like that lady was crying.
Yeah.
Makes me sick.
under Article 5, under trees, if you go, and this is under muni code, I'm gonna give you the exact code under Division 2, which is tree board. And you continue to go down, it goes over duties and responsibilities, then it goes Division 3 permit. So if you read this is section 26-217 of our Muni Code. In addition to the development review required under section 26-189, a permit shall be required as a condition precedent to the removal, relocation, or pruning of any champion tree or heritage tree on any property within the city limits. A regulated tree or other tree not considered a champion tree or heritage tree that is located completely on private property does not require a permit to remove, relocate, or prune. Nothing herein should be interpreted to exempt the owner, the property owner, or developer from any landscaping or buffering requirements in the city development code or any other local, state, or federal permit requirements. And then it goes through the permit, process, which is 26-218. That talks about specificities in the process of permitting, standard permitting for a processing for a tree to be removed or otherwise pruned in the city limits.
Okay, so I understand no permit if it's not a heritage or champion tree. Got
Was that a big tree?
it. She said it was big, but you know, people can misjudge what kind of tree. Could have been an oak tree, a water oak, you know? I have a big oak, water oak on the property.
You still like it?
I love it.
Yes.
Until it falls on my house.
I've got a,
Anything can fall on your house.
I've got a property with lots of trees and I wanna keep all my
Oh,
trees.
wow.
My neighbor has another, he has a beautiful property, I wish I could have purchased that property along with mine, and they're just knocking down almost,
Oh, no.
like I would say at least an acre, or maybe 2 acres of trees.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at least you're safe, yours, you know.
yeah,
side.
I mean, I'm, you know, we've
You'll
got,
have all the birds now, right?
I do have beautiful hawks,
Mhm.
beautiful hawks, and, yeah, it's nice, very shaded, beautiful. But, trees are, you know, they're important for our air, they're important for shade, but, we have to, in light of progress, just be smart with how we mitigate,
Mhm.
because there will be some that will have to come out.
Yeah, and respect those people that like their, you know,
Our responsibility is that if we're taking ones out that have grown that were 200 years old, not saying we have to, but if we did, then it's our responsibility to plant some that in 200 years, when we're long and gone, the new people that are here can appreciate what they are.
Yeah.
And they'll be having the same discussions, how are we saving these trees, what are we gonna do to mitigate? We have to constantly have the responsibility and action to make sure we maintain our canopy for future generations.
no. I wanna thank Trish for stepping to the plate when we needed people to complete the board. Thank you, I know maybe, we were asking for too much, but, she made the board complete, you know?
Thank you, I appreciate, having served.
Of the trees that are left that we purchased, how many are left to plant?
They were all planted.
Where
Where
are
have you
we
been?
are we talking about the grants?
Yeah,
Oh, they've all been they've all been planted,
we'll give you a tour.
yes.
So Chris Edler said that maybe in the future, he would like to have a tour of some parks because he has lots of cuttings that he would like to donate for free to the town to start some gardens. He's into those plants that shine in the moonlight.
The moonflower?
All kind of cuttings that are like moonflowers that, you know, that they will be beautiful in Lake Stella, you know, with the nighttime people walking and stuff. So he said, to keep that in consideration, to maybe have a little tour around together and see the parks and where these clippings that he wants to donate will be good. And Gary, who puts for the opening for Trish?
You
To
can-
advertise it.
You can make an announcement now, I believe on the city's website, and I will, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but under the Trees and Garden Board, if you go to government and you go to city boards and click on the Tree and Gardens Board page, when you go down there, they are showing all the board members, the statute 2022, and the next one there to click is the city board's application. So what this has is that all board members must live within the city limits of Crescent City. It asks for anyone to check either tree and garden, historic preservation, code enforcement, or planning and zoning. In this case, it would be tree and garden. They put their name, address, phone number, email. They would list any previous boards or committees that they have served on in the past, and they would briefly describe any of their educational background. And it doesn't have to apply strictly to trees and gardens, just whatever education background they have. And if it's none, they can put NA as well,
Okay.
and that's fine, but it's an application. They would send that application to city management. In our meeting, I would bring it to you all. You all would review it as a board, maybe bring the person in, have a discussion, and then I'm sure the way it works is that you all, as a board, would vote that person in.
Okay,
And I can talk to the commission about that. I don't think that they tap the person, but I could be wrong. I just need to find out.
so,
How were y'all brought in?
I think the commission
By the
voted
board,
on this.
Yeah, I think the commission voted.
Okay, so it may need to go to the commission to add the person. I will
Yeah.
check with the mayor,
okay,
and I'll check, but there is a city board's application
okay.
online.
And we can talk to people that we know
Yes.
that might be interested to apply.
Yes, and you can have them reach out to me directly and I'll walk them through it. And then once we get applications in, or, if you would like to come as well, I'll give that to the commissioners and ask them, hey, how does this process go here? And I'll look in our charter and see what we normally do. I haven't been part of that process here yet.
Okay.
Everybody's been on the board and that's how it's.
And make sure that you follow up with Steve concern about the tree with Commissioner DeVito, please. I need a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.